more than half of all women will start hiding their gray by the time they're 45. This means that much of the color that we do in salons is for gray coverage. It also means that many women will experiment with the aisles of beauty in the grocery store looking for cheaper DIY options. Today, I'd like to help you find the perfect formulation for your unique needs. Let's start at the beginning, that very first gray hair. Finding that first gray hair can be traumatic, especially since due to its lack of melanin pigment, it tends to be more wiry and seems to stick out no matter what you do. Finding a few gray hair, although noticeable, doesn't mean you have to start an every 4-week color maintenance routine. Instead, a demi-permanent hair color is usually your best option. Demi-permanent colors are meant to gradually fade out of the hair. This means that you won't have a noticeable root once it grows out. A demi-color or gloss or glaze, as some color lines call them, is a great service for minimal gray hair. Many brands of demi-color have conditioning agents in them, which leave the hair nice and soft and shiny. Now here's the catch. Demi-permanent hair colors are not designed to fully cover gray, but rather blend them away. I like to use the analogy of lipstick and lip gloss. A demi-color is more like a lip gloss on your hair. It puts a pretty, moisturizing shade of color all over the hair. On the gray pieces, the color will be more transparent and appear very natural. I've used demi-colors for years on my own hair, up until about a year ago, when the gray became a little more plentiful. This brings us to the next stage of gray. You've got more than just a few, and the demi just isn't cutting it anymore. When you're starting to see the gray even after putting on lip gloss, it may be time to switch to lipstick or permanent hair color. Something you should know about permanent hair color is that it can be mixed with different volumes of developer. Let me explain why this is important for gray coverage. Developers usually contain hydrogen peroxide. When mixed with permanent hair color, they supply oxygen to create the chemical reaction needed to change your hair color. Lower levels of developer are used when you don't want a lot of lift or you don't want to lighten your natural color. They don't have as much strength and they'll just deposit the pigment and then be on their way. Higher volume developers can lighten your natural color and have more strength for more resistant gray coverage. The standard volume used for gray coverage is 20 volume. However, the color line that I use, they actually recommend 30, and I know other stylists have had better success with 10. If you've been using the same color for a while and you're starting to notice that the coverage isn't great, it may be necessary to try some different volume developers and see if this helps. I have gray hair swatches in the salon that the students formulate and color. It's a great way to see how the same color mixed with a different developer will react on gray hair. Now, I'm not in this place yet, but next on my list is salt and pepper. Your hair is about 50% gray and 50% your natural color. Now it's important to know that color on top of color will always go darker. If I put a chocolate brown color all over the head, the gray pieces will accept the color exactly at the level that it is. However, the darker pieces are going to look darker. This can actually make the entire color look much darker than you anticipated. It's a good idea to go 1 or even 2 levels lighter than the color that you've picked so that you get the most natural and accurate result. This is a problem that many DIYers get into because they put the color on all over instead of just focusing on the new regrowth that's coming in. The first time they color, they love it, but by the 4th or 5th time, they now have black hair and their root is a completely different color. If you'd like to see how I teach a root retouch, check out this video right here. Some of us are going to get to the point where you only see gray hair. Once you reach the point where you're 80 to 100% gray, you will require another adjustment in your formulation. Hair can get quite resistant at this point, but fear not, you have options. Pre-softening is a method of softening the cuticle to make it easier for the color to get inside the hair. There are different ways to do this. I have always used straight up developer on resistant areas and let it sit while I'm mixing the color. I then dab it off and then apply my color as usual. Another option, you can try a higher developer in your color formulation, as it will give the color some more additional strength. Once you reach this stage of gray, you may want to look at changing the shade you are coloring your hair. Gray hair is hair that has lost its melanin or its pigment. Our skin will also start to lose this pigment. So if you've been coloring your hair a dark brown for years and years and years, you may want to lighten it up a bit. Here are some options. Gray hair will accept the level that is applied. It's like painting a white canvas. The red crayon you color with will look red on white paper. But take that same crayon and color on brown paper, well, you get the idea. Lighter colors don't have as much pigment, but gray hair needs more pigment because of the resistance. A level 7 or darker is a good option for your base color, and then add some highlights so that it's not too dark. Many color lines have actually come up with formulations at all color levels and can cover gray no matter how light you may want to go. Most color lines will suggest about 45 minutes for complete gray coverage, but some will recommend an additional 10 minutes, so check with the manufacturer for the best results. If you have tried all of these things and you're still having issues getting the gray coverage that you need, it may be time to have a conversation about what's going on that you may not know about. Smoking and certain medications can affect your hair color and can even cause it to turn yellow. A short-term medication will need some time to get out of your system and the hair. Once the body is balanced, you can usually go back to the original formula. Long-term medications may have you in a trial and error phase. I would suggest some strand testing to see what works best before putting the color on all over and it not working. No matter what unique phase you are in, you have options with hair color. If you've been DIYing with hair color and are running into some obstacles, I would encourage you to find a stylist that you feel comfortable with to help you with your hair color journey. If you're a student or a stylist, I hope you found this video helpful for your gray coverage troubleshooting. If you have any questions, I'd love to help answer them. Until next time, have a great hair day.